My dear friends, today the church is celebrating the nativity of John the Baptist, a person who went before Christ to tell to the world the message of the arrival of the Savior. Angel had given clear instructions both to the mother and the father that the child's name is to be John. And when it was time for the naming of the child, they named him John, which means Yahweh is merciful. Therefore, John's birth in itself is significant because his birth is an announcement to the coming of the Savior. God, who is merciful, is coming to meet his people. And this mercy of God is announced to God's people through the arrival of John the Baptist, the baptizer. My dear friends, God never forgets us. God always remembers his people, and God always remembers his promises. Here we can see fulfillment of two promises. The first promise is the promise that God made to the parents of John the Baptist that they would have a child. And in fullness, they have a child, a very healthy boy, whose arrival was of course greeted with great joy and jubilation because there is a boy child that is born. But in effect, it is not just the jubilation of the birth of a male child, but this joy or jubilation has got another purpose as well, because his birth is also an announcement for the forthcoming arrival of the Savior, the Messiah. And in that way, it is also leading us to Jesus Christ. And all throughout, the life of John the Baptist has been that. He never stood for himself, he never witnessed for himself, he never preached for himself. But all the while, he stood for the Savior, he stood for the Messiah, and his preaching was also a message leading to the Messiah. Well, later, elsewhere in the Gospels, he would say, I should become small and he should become big. I should decrease and he should increase. That was always his message. His message was one of becoming smaller and that Christ could become bigger. My dear friends, this is in fact what John the Baptist stands for, and this feast should mean for each one of us. Because his message, his name, his life is the message of the mercy of God. So turn to God's mercy. So become small, become little people, that Christ could become bigger in you. If we cannot stand for this value in our lives, then our Christian lives are meaningless. Even our very call to be the disciples of Christ is meaningless. For my dear friends, let's accept this message. When we accept this, we become what we call people who stand for Jesus, people who stand for the Savior, like John the Baptist. And then there will be great jubilation at our rebirth. By the birth of John the Baptist, when there was jubilation, well, there would be great jubilation at our rebirth, because then we become like John the Baptist, who are standing for Christ, who are leading people to Jesus. Thereby, we could become messengers of God's mercy. We could all become another John the Baptist for our brothers and sisters. May God bless us.